See you as well.
Okay, we're going to start the meeting. The meeting will come to order in accordance with Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 executive order. This meeting will be held remotely by remote participation only. There is a link to join the live stream, which is on the agenda form and on the website. The following matters will come before the Reveal License Commission at our regular scheduled meeting today. The meeting previously filed with the city clerk. Applications submitted for consideration will be dealt with first. Item number 1, Beachmont VFW Post 6712 Inc., 150 Bennington Street, Paul Penta, manager. This is an application for a change of manager of Beachmont VFW Post 6712 Inc. of an all alcohol club license to Paul Penta from Frank Matt. This is a continuation from the last meeting. Is Mr. Penta available?
He is here. I am promoting him to a panelist. And should be in a moment. I'm not exactly sure where he went.
He was there.
Yes, and I put him into promote and now he's just sort of gone.
All right, well, I guess we'll move to the next item, and when he comes back, we'll go back to it.
Okay.
Item number 2 is Argueta and Peach Corp. DBA Nino's Restaurant and Bar, 7B Everett Street. Julia Duarte Alarcon is the manager. This is an application for change of officers and transfer of stock. The application of Argueta and Peach Corp. DBA Nino's Restaurant and Bar for a transfer of stock and a change of officers. Is there someone from Nino's Restaurant and Bar here?
Ask them to raise their hands, please. I have 2 call-in listeners, so I'll allow them both to speak and see if either of them is for this application. I have no raised hands. Here's the first one now.
Hello.
If that person could unmute, please. I'll put in the second one too, and hopefully one of them will be appropriate.
One disappeared.
Yes, they possibly hung up. I have 1 phone call listener. I am asking them to unmute. All right, I will ask the attendees if any of you are here for this item, please raise your hand.
Well, shall we move on?
I think so, yes. Oh, wait, someone has raised a hand. Just one moment.
Oh, that's Paul Penta.
Penta.
All right, I'll try to promote him again.
We can go back to number 1.
Okay. He should be coming in any moment now as a panelist.
I don't see him. I think we've had the same problem last month. He can't seem to unmute himself.
Okay, well, I guess we will move on again, and we'll get back to it when we can get people up.
Okay.
Item number 3, S&V Partners, Inc., DBA Valsos Cafe, 123 Shirley Avenue. Alex Herrera is the manager. This is an application for an all-alcohol restaurant license. The application of S&V Partners, Inc., DBA Valsos Cafe of 123 Shirley Avenue for an all-alcohol license. Said license to be exercised at the same address. The requested seating is 21, including 8 outdoor seats. Requested hours. The bakery hours are from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. The restaurant hours are listed as 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. And I think there's been a change on that, but I'll let the applicants talk about that. And the requested entertainment is TV and radio. Is there someone here on behalf of S&V Partners?
Yes, Mr. Commissioner. This is Lee Rasich. I'm the counsel for the applicant, and joining me here today are Carolina Rivias and Alex Herrera, the owners.
Very good, sir. Can you explain briefly what your clients would like to do here?
Yes, thank you. You may be familiar with the restaurant that opened on Shirley Ave last year called Valsos Table and Bar. It's the same owners or ownership group. This is a spinoff, which is contemplated to be a smaller, lighter, more casual fare type cafe tapas restaurant with 2 essential components. First of all, there's a bakery component, which will open hopefully at 6 a.m. and go to 9 p.m. each day, which will feature various pastries, assorted breads, cafe, cappuccino, coffees, as well as some proprietary smoothies and fruit drinks. It's a small format building. There are currently planned to be only 8 tables with 2 seats each, including 4 outside and 4 outside on a patio space and 4 inside, as well as the coffee bar has a countertop with 5 proposed stools. Adjacent to that coffee bar is a pastry area, like a countertop cabinet type thing. That's one concept. The second concept in the same space is a small tapas style restaurant with alcohol planned. The tapas offered would be similar to those offered next door at the other restaurant. Again, capitalizing on my client's Latin American and international cuisine experience. These types of mixed use dining and casual dining projects have become relatively popular in the Boston area. I don't know if the commission is familiar with Jaho Coffee Roasters and Wine Bar, but it's been very successful, opening 5 locations here, I believe, and 2 in Japan, as well as there's another company in East Boston who's doing small tapas and in cocktails, and is very successful, called Jigu, I believe, on Meridian Avenue. So this really is an expansion of the existing project. Like I said, it is literally right across Nahant Ave at 123 Shirley. The other location is 139 Shirley. And it's in the former, the new construction building, which is a 5-story building built by Rising Community and Development out of Lynn. And it's a nonprofit that developed the building primarily as I believe a 30-unit housing building for veterans, or primarily for veterans. And then there's commercial space on the first floor. So top 4 floors residential, first floor commercial. And my clients have leased the front corner on Nahant and Shirley, which again includes that patio with 4 tables. It's fenced in with a metal fence, and then there are some big windows and where the cafe inside would be. I'm happy to answer any more questions or provide more detail about the application as you see fit.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Yes, my fellow commissioners have some questions. Yes, Linda?
Questions. In the original building of this building, was this included as part of the development at that time?
The Valsos project?
Yes.
I don't believe it was, no. This space was only leased this summer. So I believe the building was started in 2018, I want to say.
Yes. Well, I'm talking about when it was started. When it was being built, was this part of the building process to have a restaurant there? Because you do have tenants upstairs.
Yeah, I believe that it was contemplated that there would be some sort of food establishment on the lower level. My clients and perhaps the counselor can speak more to that.
Okay. I have another question also. Now, you're saying you're going to start at 9 o'clock. We'll switch from bakery to a restaurant. So what time will you be serving till? You're saying you're going to start at 9 o'clock, the restaurant, which would be a dinner menu, I would assume. And what time would dinner be being served till?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner, because that is one of the aspects that has changed, which Commissioner Sullivan mentioned. In discussions with the counselor, we think it more appropriate, given that there will be residential housing upstairs, to limit the requested times as follows. The bakery component is still planned to open every day at 6 a.m. For commuters, primarily at that hour, and then keep offering the coffee and pastries through 9 p.m. each day. However, the restaurant portion would only run from 11 a.m. to midnight on Sundays through Thursdays. And then on Friday and Saturday, the restaurant would run from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m.
Okay, so my other question then would be, you're opening at 6 o'clock. When would you actually be using your alcoholic beverage license?
Not until 11, the lunch starts at 11 a.m.
So you would still be using it during the day. It's not going to start at 9. So the alcohol will basically be served the regular hours like everyone else. So at lunchtime till we're talking 12, you'll be serving alcohol.
Correct, Commissioner.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Commissioner Osina, do you have any questions?
I do. I believe it was clarified because I was looking at the summary of what we received, and I thought they were seeking requested hours till 2 a.m. But I believe the application, I think the license comes with till 11. Just give me some insight as to the reasoning why you would like it until 12, and then taking in consideration that it is a residential area, and then seeking it until 1 o'clock. What's the rationale behind that?
Sure. The rationale is that we'd like to stay competitive with other restaurants in the area and other restaurants like the ones that I've mentioned offering these services. Also the neighboring affiliate, Valsos Table and Bar, has a 2 a.m. And we imagine there will be some common clientele, the client base there. It's just generally to capture the entire dinner market. The tapas and wine cocktails concept, it pairs really well with after dinner conversation as well. This is meant to be sort of a quiet place for just enjoying a glass of wine or a cocktail, talking to your dinner guests after dinner. You can go over there and sort of finish up your evening. It's intended to be a very low key, quiet place. The music will be very quiet. And it's just we just think that there is a market there for staying open until after the traditional dinner wraps up around 8 or 9 p.m. I think there's a few more hours there where my clients can really do a good business.
Thank you very much, sir. Daniel, do you have any other questions?
Not at this particular time. I'm still looking over the application.
Thank you very much. I will close that section. Are there any proponents? Yes, Counselor.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman. Aaron Novoselsky, 53 Dearborn Street, Revere, Mass, Ward 2 Counselor. As everybody's been saying, when the building was built in 18, there was planned for a cafe. It wasn't anticipated to be a liquor serving type. We didn't even think of that. But then Alex came up, they searched out Alex and he was interested and he came up with this concept. And I did talk to him the other day and I discussed the 2 a.m. issue, knowing that the breakfast, this morning is 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. for the bakery portion, but then in between from 11 to whenever they're going to shut the kitchen down would include the bakery, part of the bakery, and also the restaurant, a cafe type thing. I guess they do plan on bringing a lot of some of the food from Table and Bar over to here to help serve and have it available for the different type of clients. So we did talk about the 2 a.m. I wasn't excited about that. I'm always willing to work with people, knowing that we had tenants upstairs right above him, where the place is going to be. They are veterans, some of them are disabled veterans, and I didn't feel it was really fair to them to subject them to potential noise and, people screaming and music until 2 a.m. in the morning, knowing that there's a shutdown or a last call, a half hour before, if I'm correct, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Half hour before. So that means they start breaking down. The new hours that I suggested would be Sunday to Thursday until 12 midnight and Friday and Saturday till 1 a.m. That means the last calls would be at 11:30 and 12:30 respectively. So they did agree with that. I appreciate their cooperating with me and the city and the tenants and the people in the neighborhood to try and make this work. So that's the hours that we all agreed to. And, I look forward to hopefully if you give them the license for this so that things will work out. And we didn't have any issues that I can complain about from Table and Bar, which they own that license also. So there have been no complaints, no police complaints that I know of. And I think they would be good operators to make this thing work. So with that, I'll finish up now and just to let you know there is another speaker on, like I said before, Jordan Avey wants to be a proponent on this thing. So appreciate your time. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Counselor. Are there any other proponents? Is there someone else who would like to speak on behalf of this project?
I am promoting one in. I am looking to see if anyone else raises a hand. I do have a call-in listener that I will probably give right to speak in a moment.
Yeah, Maggie, that's that 8518 number.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
He's still, his phone's muted.
I know they're allowed to be unmuted, but they haven't unmuted.
Yeah, I just sent them a text on mute. Yeah, he's a newcomer on this stuff, so he was a little confused. Oh, disappeared. Is he now a panelist? No. I don't know where he went.
Okay, well,
Well, I have one other question. I'm sorry, I meant to ask. I know we're talking about music. When you say you want to have a radio or some kind of entertainment there, you're asking for seats outdoors. Is that music also going to be played so that the patrons outdoors can hear it? Are we going to keep that just indoors for your supper hours?
Good question. The current plan is to have one outdoor speaker over that small patio area. We are amenable to whatever kinds of volume controls are requested. We don't plan on it being very loud. The point is to be able to have conversations outside at these small tables and not have to talk over music.
Yeah, because I think that would be a concern to me. Again, it's a residential building, that if there's music outside, I can hear, honestly, in my home, people go by with the radio on, I can hear it. So to the counselor, are you aware that this music will be playing outdoors?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, at Valsos, they did do it at the very beginning. It is very quiet. I live directly behind the property of Valsos Table and Bar.
I can't hear you, counselor.
Okay, I don't know why. Let me get a little closer. How's this? Any better?
That's good, that's good.
Okay, thank you. I do live right behind Valsos and Table and Bar. And at first they did have a small speaker out there. I did talk to him. He reduced it, and this was when he first opened and put out the tent. And I have not heard anything since, and that's almost 2.5 months now. So it is very, very low key. And if you can keep it to that level, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Okay, because if my memory serves me right, there was a little loud music coming from that establishment at one time. So you're saying you're there and it's been corrected. So I
Yes.
just want to see this again, because this obviously is much closer, putting that music outside. And again, I mean, these are all corrections that the board can make as we go along, should there be any kind of disturbance to the residents.
Yeah, just so you know, if I may, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, I guess where they're gonna put the speaker is below an eave, so it's facing down. So it's not blasting outwards, so the volume would be down towards the tables rather than
Okay.
out into the street.
So was that the problem with the original business they had, the speakers?
It was a little different there because they're next to a large parking lot where the tent is, and it's wide open. So, and they don't have an eave on the building. But they did turn the volume down, and it is reasonable. And like I said, I don't hear it at all. But I'm sure if they do it this time and they point it downwards under the eave or over the doorway, it'll work fine.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
thank you very much, Counselor. Are there any other proponents? Anybody else like to speak on behalf of this project?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I have Lou McCarkis on my phone, and he can't get in. He's having trouble operating it. But he works for New England Century Realty on Pleasant Street, 23 Pleasant. Oh, I got him now. Here we go. Lou, you there? Why don't you talk now? I got him on my phone. Lou.
Yes, I apologize. Had some technical difficulties. You need to lower that so they don't have the feedback.
I can't hear him at all. I don't know if anybody else can, but
Can't
well,
hear.
we can put him on the record as a proponent of the project.
Okay, I don't even know where my, I don't know where my speaker is here on my laptop, but he is on, but I will, Lou, I'm putting you in as a proponent for Century 21, New England.
Well, on behalf of the Cajun family.
Okay,
I'm
on
assuming
behalf
that
of the Cajun family, who are the owners of the building.
Very
He
good.
is- He is representing them.
Okay,
Okay, they got
thank
it.
you. He'll be on the record for that. Thank
You're on
you.
record for that.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you,
Well, thank
folks.
you very much. Thank you, Counselor. I appreciate that. Are there any other proponents? I am going to say that there are none. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to this project? I don't see or hear anybody, so I guess we will say that there are no opponents.
If you like,
Um,
I can allow everybody to speak for one moment to see if anyone wants to say anything. We've got
Okay,
5
very good.
attendees.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, everybody that's in the audience is allowed to talk right now, and Mr. Penta has been promoted to panelist for his own application. So if anyone wishes to speak, now is the time.
There is an open mic on Liz. Maggie?
Yep,
Commissioners, is it closed relative to that number 3? Can you guys hear
Yes.
me now?
right now it is simply on number 3.
Okay, with respect to, since you
Oh,
can't hear,
this is,
apologize, can all the commissioners hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
I apologize with technical difficulties, but just the quick history, and I think some of the, I know Commissioner Janasso was around because actually Arthur attended the opening. This,
Excuse me, sir. Sir, excuse me. Can I just have your name and address for the record, please?
it's Lou Markakis, MARKAKIS.
Thank you.
Just the quick history. When I returned back in October of 2015, when he brought the synagogue to me and he asked if I thought, we need to have the right developer. So since local people, the Cajun family who are on North Shore Road, were looking for a local project and they had a good history and a track record of success, we selected them. With respect to the cafe, we worked very closely with the administration, the mayor's office, and Bob O'Brien in particular. And we were very selective. I just want the commissioners to know that we've worked on this project. It's almost 5 years. And the reason it was well thought out and very successful was because we had a sort of a public-private partnership where the city worked with the developer. They told us what they wanted, not the other way around. That's why we put the police station right next door. So the concept of having people on the way to the tea, grab a cup of coffee, bakery, would fit. So we were very sensitive to the fit for the building. We turned down 10 different companies and concepts because it didn't fit in. Didn't fit into the building. We didn't think it was good for the building or the community. So we selected Alex and his team, who have done everything they said they were going to do. The first question I asked the council was, have they had any citations? And I believe they have not. They spent almost $500,000 right next door. And when we spent $4.5 to $5 million on this building, we wanted to make sure that we had the right cluster concept. So it was very specific who we wanted. The concept works with respect to the liquor license at hand. We looked at the track record. We feel that with the police station next door, it's sort of a physical, they have the blue light there. It's good for the area. It's good for upstairs. And so far, commissioners, they've done everything they've said they would do. And now they're spending another $150,000. It was the mayor that wanted the outdoor seating. It was the mayor that wanted the doors that open so we could put two seats and a table in between. That's why they gave us the extended sidewalk. That's why the governor came in with $2.5 million on a Mass Works grant It was a real public-private partnership. And I'm happy to say that some of the councilors were there to see the ribbon cutting. That's the long history. Are there any questions?
I don't have any questions, sir. Thanks for filling in the background, though. It gives us a good basis to make the decision. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
No, I'm satisfied.
Thank you, Daniel.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, commissioners.
Thank you very much, sir.
And
We would appreciate every consideration on behalf of the Nikasian family. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you for the time.
My pleasure.
Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to this project? I don't see or hear anybody.
Pongo en contra de la. Ujú.
I don't see or hear anybody, so we will close that section. Do my fellow commissioners have any comments that you'd like to make or anything that you'd like to say or put in a motion?
Oh, I think they've answered all the questions, and I don't have any other questions other than, you know, if it's approved today, it, obviously, we can always revisit it if there's other problems and make adjustments. So I don't have any objection. So if no one wants to make a motion, Daniel or anyone, I will make a motion to approve with the, we have down here till 12 a.m. I think we're going to change that to 1 o'clock. Closing time would be 1 o'clock.
Yes, the license that we would approve would be a Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. until midnight, Friday, Saturday from 11 a.m. until 1 a.m.
I think they were looking for Sunday to Thursday, 11 a.m. to 12.
That's correct.
Okay, I'm sorry, I left out Sunday. So it'd be Sunday to Thursday, 11 to midnight. Thank you. So that would be the licensed alcohol hours. And the business hours would be from 6 a.m. For the bakery section.
Right, and also, and obviously, no alcohol will be served until 11.
That's correct.
Right. So if there's no other questions by the commission, I will make a motion to approve.
Second.
Very good. I'll make it unanimous. I've been to Valsos. You folks do a great job there. I really like the place. I like what you've done with it. It's really a plus for the neighborhood, and I'm looking forward to going to your new place. So I would also vote to approve that. So the application for S&V Partners Inc., DBA Valsos Cafe, 123 Shirley Avenue, for an all alcohol restaurant license is approved. The said license will be exercised at the same address. The requested seating is for 21, including 8 outdoor seats. Requested hours are from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. for the bakery. And for the alcohol restaurant license would be Sunday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to midnight, Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. And that license is approved. Thank you very much, folks. Good luck.
Commissioners,
Good luck.
thank you, Counselor, and
Thank you, guys.
Danny.
Anytime. Take care,
Thank
Alex.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we can go back to, is Mr. Penta still up?
I'm right here.
Very good. We're going to get this done this time, I promise.
I hope
Thank you
so.
very, very much for your patience. Item number 1, Beachmont VFW Post 6712 Inc., 150 Bennington Street, Paul Penta, manager. This is an application for a change of manager. The application for the Beachmont VFW Post 6712 for an all alcohol club license to be changed to a manager of Paul Penta from Frank Matt. Mr. Penta, are you going to be making any changes to the Beachmont VFW?
Well, right now, we're open from 11 to 7. And that's every day of the week. We just started opening this Sunday for the first Sunday since this happened.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions for Mr. Penta?
No, I have no question. I'm very familiar with the club and I don't see any issues.
I don't see any issues.
Very
question.
good. Thank you. I will put in a motion to approve this.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you very much. The motion for the application of change of manager for Beachmont VFW Post 6712 Inc. is approved.
And thank you very,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hold on.
That concludes that item.
thank you.
Item number 4. This would be Rubino's Restaurant LLC, DBA The Cutting Board, 744 Broadway. Louis Rubino is the manager. This is an application for a malt, wine, and cordials liquor restaurant license. The application of Rubino's Restaurant LLC, DBA The Cutting Board, 744 Broadway, Revere. The said license to be exercised at the same location. The requested seating is 22. The requested hours of operation are Sunday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And the requested entertainment is a radio. Is Louis Rubino prepared to speak on this matter?
Yep, that's me, sir. So I am would be the manager and owner of the Cutting Board Restaurant in Revere. The whole concept is a small, quaint bistro-style restaurant, which means it would have an collection of cuisines ranging from Asian to Greek to Italian. The dishes include risottos, handmade pastas, steaks, pork chops, dumplings. I want to say 95% of this menu is going to be made from scratch too. Another component of the restaurant is going to be a selection of sangrias. As the restaurant is pretty small and I do not have space for a formal bar, my alternative is to create a whole menu of about 8 sangrias, which that's where the cordials comes into the malted wine license. The place has been a restaurant before in the past. I'm sure you guys have seen the various restaurants there, Antonella's, The Bomb, Sabor. So it's fully equipped to handle my needs. As of right now, I'm still going through some of the renovations. We've already done electrical work, which has been passed. So we still have plumbing and to reorganize the hood system. And besides that, we should be ready to open permitting and approval. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I can answer anything you have.
Thank you very much. Yes, Commissioner Guanasso.
I have a few questions. I don't see here that you're requesting outdoor seating. Are
I am
these
not, oops, sorry, continue.
the 22 seats are for indoor seating?
That's correct.
Okay. The other question, because I'm very familiar with the building, it's a nice little space there. There's been some good restaurants, but unfortunately it's very close to the neighbors. And the outdoor seating did create a little bit of a problem there. Not that I'm against outdoor seating, but I think as much as was there was a little much for the neighborhood. My other question is, at one point they had put up many lights of very large light bulbs that went around the whole property. Is that your intent to keep those up?
No, so outdoor seating was something that I would like to revisit next year, as by the time I open, I probably won't get any use out of it. But the plan, if everything goes well for the outdoor seating next year, would to build some kind of covering, like a pergola or something like that, within the limits of the patio, and have some lights, not as many as they had before because it was quite cluttered. I remember that. So the lights wouldn't reach the whole outside perimeter of the the property like it did before. I don't want to be intrusive to the neighbors. So when that time comes, we want to keep the outside as low key as possible.
Right. I mean, you need lighting there, but there is a lot more soft lighting that can be used. Have you had the opportunity to speak to any of the neighbors in the area as far as your hours?
I have not. I only have the one neighbor next door, and we have the tenants upstairs. Their family, they're 100% okay, and they're fully aware. I have not talked to the neighbors yet, and that is something I'll probably do before opening and kind of plant the seed of next year revisiting the whole patio situation. But as of right now, we're kind of putting that on hold.
Well, I'm glad to say that you hear that you've talked to the neighbors directly next door, because unfortunately, that is, business district. So businesses do go there, and it's hard. But if you buy a home and you see a business there, it's there. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy you spoke with the people right next door, and they're okay with. And I mean, as far as it going any further than that, I don't think you have to, only because it is business owned. But just as a good neighbor, respecting the neighbors next door is a good thing for your business. So I'm very happy to hear that you're taking it over. I think it's going to be great. And just those were the only concerns, was the lighting was, as you said, a little much. And
Yeah.
teasing the neighbors is very good. And actually a covering, if you did come back and did want outdoor seating, I don't see a problem with that. But a covering would be a big help to all the surrounding neighbors.
Yeah, we definitely want to keep it as, low key and not intrusive to the surrounding neighbors. So yeah, next year we'll revisit something like a pergola with a light system that's not too intrusive to the surrounding area.
Yeah. Well, that'll be great. I'm sure you'll do well there. It's a nice spot.
Thank you
And
very much.
that's all the questions I have.
Thank
I have a few questions.
you. Yes, sir.
So I am familiar with the building as well. I visited, I think, 2 restaurants that was there before this new establishment. So I understand the need of possibly getting this license approved, and but how many? So just confirm the amount of seating that you plan to have indoors. I'm looking at the plan here. How many seats do you plan to have inside? It's a pretty small space inside there.
Yeah, it's 22 seats. Basically, it would be
How many
3
tables?
tops and 4 two tops. So it is a small space, and I did not want to crowd the area too much. So all the tables, before the pandemic, was planned to be, as you see in the plan. They do have a few feet in between them. Obviously, now we're going to have to revisit that, so there'll be a lot more space. But the restaurant is divided into two sections. Basically, you have the chairs and tables, and on the right side, as you walk in, is all the booths. It's a good 48 inches in between the tables and the booths to pass by. Being able to navigate through the tables was a big thing when I was planning out where to put them, especially for the servers bringing dishes. We don't want any accidents, and obviously people, you don't want to be on top of somebody else. So those 22 seats do fit comfortably in there. Obviously now we'll have to curtail it to the current situation.
And I think my last question would be, obviously, given the area, and as Commissioner Granasso pointed out, there's some legitimate concerns possibly about the noise and the neighbors, but the traffic as well. Is there anything that you guys are doing to take into consideration? I mean, I guess it's on-street parking, right? That's what you're looking to do. I don't think you guys have premises parking, right? There's no parking lot.
No, there's no parking on premises, unfortunately, besides the garage that's attached to the property. Yeah, we would be relying on the 3 spots out front and I want to say about 6 or so spots on the side. the good thing about that is that we don't have a lot of space in the restaurant, so that parking is pretty sufficient for my needs currently. So we haven't seen an issue with that yet. There was talks about coordinating with the Sons of Italy to maybe use their parking lot, but that would be something down the line where the business would grow, and then we would need that. But at the moment, with the current situation, we don't find the need to make any kind of deal or coordinate that. But that's something that we would think about if everything was lifted and our 22 person occupancy would be able to be filled.
Okay, that's all the questions I have.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Mr. Rubino, I have a couple of questions. Now, you had worked at Bertucci's prior?
Yep. My most recent position at Bertucci's was general manager of the location in Woburn.
Very good. And in that position, were you tip certified and were you overseeing alcohol service at that location?
Yes. My responsibility was the entire restaurant and the managers below me. So I was overseeing all the operations in the restaurant. I did have a specific bar manager below me, but he basically had the same responsibilities, and he would take some of those from me. So at Bertucci's, it's pretty corporate, so they do require you to have all those pertinent certifications.
Well, I would like to suggest that you also have your employees, if they're going to be serving alcohol, do the same thing. There's a reason why a corporate company like Bertucci's does that. That's really the only questions I have. Basically, are you going to be on the premises all the time, or have you hired an assistant manager?
No, so I will be on the premises all the time for the foreseeable future. Having a manager is something that I would consider down the line, but the current plan is for the next 3 to 6 months, I will be on the premises for basically 11 to 11 every day.
Okay, very good. And you are aware that you need a final inspection from the fire department before you can open, or before the license that if you do get the license, is valid, right?
Right, that's correct. We haven't finished the plumbing or rearranged the nozzles for the hood system yet, so that'll be done, I want to say, by the end of September, and we'll be ready for the fire inspection at that point. So yeah, we're on the same page.
Very good. Thank you very much, sir. I will close that section. Are there any proponents? Is there anybody that would like to speak on behalf of this? I don't see or hear any. I will close that section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to this application?
I think I have 4 people left. I think 2 of them at least are for one of the other applications. I can give everybody room to speak if you like.
Oh, thank you. That would be great.
All attendees are able to speak if they want to. As I said, I believe 2 of them are for item number 2, so we'll be able to address that afterwards if you like.
Very good.
Otras 2 personas con nosotros, me imagino.
I will close that section of the hearing. Do any of my fellow commissioners have anything they want to say?
And I think he's answered all my questions. Thank you.
Mine as
Very
well.
good. Very good. I'll make a motion to approve this.
I second that motion.
We'll second the motion contingent on the fire department signing off on,
Hola?
Yes, that's
we have to wait for
correct.
from the fire department before we can. But I would definitely vote in favor contingent on the fire chief signing off.
Very good. Thank you
Hola?
very much, Commissioner. The application for the malt wine and cordials liquor restaurant license of Rubino Restaurant LLC, DBA The Cutting Board, 744 Broadway, Revere, Mass. Louis Rubino, manager, is approved. The license to be exercised at the same location. The requested seating is 22. The requested hours of operation are Sunday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., and the requested entertainment is a radio, and the license is contingent on sign-offs from the fire department. Thank you very much, sir. That
Thank you,
license
Chairman.
is
Thank you,
approved.
Commissioners. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
You as well. Thank you.
We're going back to item number 2. This would be Argueta and Peach Corporation, DBA Nino's Restaurant and Bar, 7B Everett Street. Julia Duarte Alarcon is the manager. It's an application for change of officer and transfer of stock of Nino's Restaurant and Bar. Is there folks on behalf of this application?
I believe they have not yet unmuted. I have 2 people that I've promoted to panelists, so they should be along soon, and then 2 attendees. I'm kind of
I see.
hoping that
Yes, is there someone that would like to speak on behalf of Nino's?
Ms. Duarte mostly speaks Spanish, so if you could give her a moment to sort of gather everything together.
Sure.
I'm here. I can translate for her.
Very good. Can I have your name and address
Maggie?
for the record, please?
Yes, we do have you here.
7B Everett Street, Riviera, Massachusetts.
Thank
Nino's
you.
Restaurant.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
This is an application for a change of manager. Oh, no, a change of offices and transfer of stock. Is that going to have any effect on the restaurant?
Yes, she's gonna change owner, right? Owner.
Main menu. Available commands are cancel.
The first Sergio is no longer gonna be the owner. Only Julia Duarte.
Okay, very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
Well, I'm just, are you doing anything to the restaurant? Is the restaurant going to stay exactly as it is? Hours?
Sí. Yeah, it's gonna stay how it is.
Okay, no change of menu or any remodeling?
No remodelación y cambio de menú. Menú va a ser casi lo básico. The menu will be just the basic change. Just like, example, ¿vas a agregar algo o vas a quitar algo? Como comida italiana y poner como comida y como salvadoreño. She's gonna mix a little bit, taking off the Italian food and putting Hispanic food and American food.
Okay, no change of the bar area? Adding seating?
No.
No, you haven't done anything at the bar. Is that what you're saying?
¿No has hecho nada en el bar? No. No, she hasn't done yet. Va a quedar igual. It's gonna stay the same.
Okay. If there are changes, you would have to notify the board if you decide to move that bar.
Okay. Si tienes que hacer algo, cambiar algo de la barra, tienes que... Pero dile que va a quedar, la barra no, va a quedar, la queremos, va a quedar igual. Okay. Yeah, the bar is not gonna have no changes at all.
Pero si no, en un futuro,
But in the future,
dejamos ver.
we will let you know.
Okay. Please let us know when you do it. Thank you.
Okay. Can we let his?
Commissioner Osina, do you have any questions?
I don't.
Ma'am, I just have one question. You are the current manager of Nino's,
So is la manager de Nino's?
Manager,
Yes, she's the manager.
and she's going to stay the manager of Nino's, correct?
Yes, correct.
Very good. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would make a motion to approve this.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Well,
also-
actually, I may be rushing this a little bit, excuse me. We'll close that part of the hearing, and I'll
Okay.
ask for any other proponents. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of the application? I don't see or hear anybody that wants to speak. I'll close that section. Is there anybody opposed? Is there anybody against this? I don't see or hear anybody. So I'll close that section. Now I'll make a motion to approve this.
Excuse me, Commissioner, I just forgot to ask one question. Have all taxes and no outstanding fees due to the city before we change this license over?
That's correct.
Has it been cleared, Maggie?
Yes.
They did. Oh, okay. Thank you. Excuse me, Commissioner, you were making a motion?
Yes, I was making a motion to approve this.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. The application for change of offices and transfer of stock of Argueta and Pinochet Corporation, DBA Nino's Restaurant and Bar has been approved. Thank you very much, folks. Thanks for your time.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I believe that concludes the items submitted for consideration, the applications. The next items are communications. A notification from the Massachusetts Alcohol Beverage Control Commission of approval of an all alcohol restaurant license for Two Brothers Hospitality LLC, DBA Murray's Tavern. A notice of hearing from the ABCC for Patriot Civic Club, Inc. for 3 violations of COVID prevention regulations. Their hearing date is 9/16/20 at 12 p.m. That concludes the communications. There are a couple items that I would like to address before we go further. One of them has to do with a local business, BW's Grill, that was looking to change their license, but the paperwork apparently was somewhat delayed and they were unable to get on the agenda. And it's imperative to them and the people buying the business that this transaction take place this month. So I wanted to indulge you guys in perhaps a special meeting, which has to occur either on the 21st, 22nd, or 23rd. Is there anybody, are you guys available at that time? Any of those days for a special meeting?
I can be available. I mean, I really don't want to hold up the sale of that business. Businesses are having a tough time as it is. And
Yes.
would hate to see them held up another month. So I have no problem. I'm very flexible those 3 days.
Very good. Commissioner Osina, do you have a preference on any one of those days? Are you available? It shouldn't take long. We're probably looking at 15 minutes tops.
Right. So I would say the 22nd will probably work best for me.
Very good. Maggie, can you schedule something like that, please?
Absolutely. I will contact all of you as to best time on the 22nd, and I will post the meeting.
Thank you very much. The next item would be a discussion that the city council basically took up, and we've also gotten some questions and concerns about the fees that businesses were charged for their various licenses. An example would be a place like, take a bar down the beach. They paid $3,000 for their license. Now they've been forced to close at least 6 months now. That's over 180 days, getting on to 200 days. At $3,000 for the license and forcing them to close for 2/3 of the period of time, it seems like, you know, we ought to be able to work out some type of a solution where they get mitigated for this type of loss. And there were, you know, it happened to businesses all over the city, restaurants, and even if they were allowed to open, there was a reduction in the amounts of seating capacity. So if you got a license based on 100 seats, you could only do 50. Would you be entitled to half? I mean, I don't know. This is a discussion that, you know, I'd like to have. Have you guys given that any thought?
I have. I've put a lot of thought into it, and I actually have thought about this since April, seeing all these businesses going down. Last thing I want to see, we have some very good business owners in our city, and I really don't want to lose them. So to give them a discount on the 2021 licenses, I'm in favor of that. I think we have to look at each business individually, though. I don't think every business would have to, because there are some businesses that I feel like a parking lot license was just an extra onto their business, parking lot licenses. I think the people who really got hurt was our restaurants, liquor licenses, and I think the city should help them out, although they did get help from the state, and I appreciate that, but it isn't able to keep them in business much longer. They're still hurting, and as you say, their business has been cut down 50%. They have 50% of the tables that they had before. So anything that this board could do, I would be very happy, and I think that they are. I agree with Commissioner Solovich that they've lost at least 75% of their business. So if we're talking 75% of their business, maybe that's where we have to cut back on their fee for 2021. I have gone over all the licenses that we do have in the city, like lodging licenses. Lodging licenses, people are still renting, they're still there. They haven't lost anything, because obviously this is going to be a big hit on our tax dollars also. So have to be considerate of that. But those that have continued their business, and good for them, I think I would rather help those that have had to shut their doors and maybe give them a bigger percentage off, rather than just make it a blanket statement. I had originally thought that we should just go back maybe 50% on all licenses in the city. That obviously would be a huge hit on our taxes. So I would like to look at each business individually and see who's really lost the money. And at this point, I think it's mainly our liquor licenses, our common vic license restaurants, unless something else comes to light. But that's where I feel the money was lost, on the licenses who pay the most. So I would like to hear what my colleagues have to say and how they've looked at it.
Thank you, Commissioner Guanasso. Commissioner Osina, do you have any thoughts on this subject?
You're muted.
You're muted, Commissioner.
Not at this present time. I wanted to have a conversation with Maggie and just kind of review the licenses and the fees. Still kind of wrapping my head around it. I don't feel like I'm versed enough in how those fees kind of cycle back around to speak on at the present time, but I would certainly go with Commissioner Granasso. I'm sure she, what she said is certainly right in terms of its rationale. So again, I just not really terribly familiar with all of the fees and how that plays with the with the licenses. So.
Very good. One thing that I had been thinking about, and I would like to get your opinion of, is that, for example, a liquor license of $3,000, if we had forced that business to close for X number of days, and you quantify the license. So a $3,000 license comes out to about $8.22 a day. So if you closed 100 days, you'd get back $822. Yeah, about $822. If 200 days, 1,600, et cetera. And so the idea would be to basically rebate the days and then apply them to next year's license, so that a license that was $3,000, if $2,000 of it was closed, you'd apply that $2,000 that they already paid toward next year's license, and that would bring next year's license down to $1,000. Now, if they lose a percentage of their floor space, you reduce that 1,000 by the percentage lost, so you can get to a fairly close number on what the cost of the shutdown and reduction would be. I don't know if I explained it properly, if you're able to follow it, but that's kind of the formula that I was thinking about. And I would like to get your opinion on that.
Well, I think it's a good formula. I do agree with you. The thing again is, I just want to know what licenses we're talking about. You seem to be just gearing at the liquor licenses, because I'm with you on that, because when you look at a flea market license for the theater, well, that money really, that's extra money for their business. That's really not their business. We give that extra. And that money, actually the loss is for the people that used to go there and sell their products. So I'm just wondering who you want to include in this. I think that's where we have to go. And of course, Commissioner Oshino is not that familiar with the fees and how they work. I think if it's a secondary business that other people come in and pay money, I don't think they should get the discount. Okay.
Well, I mean, I understand that. However, if you are charging someone for a flea market license and then telling them they can't have a flea market, I don't see how you can justify charging them anything for that, really. I mean, I understand it's a secondary part of the business, but it would seem that if you're closing them down after you gave them a license, that, you may owe them some type of a mitigation on that. And it's nothing I would want to vote on today, but I mean, it would be something that I would like to look at and maybe bring up at our next meeting, and really have a solid plan to help out these people going forward.
Right. And I agree with you. I do agree. But I guess where I was coming from is Showcase Cinema's business is a theater. Okay. We may want to give them a discount on their theater license, but when you have a second, like parking lots, we allow some people to have a parking lot, but that's not their main business, their hotels. So I guess that's where I'm coming from with that. But certainly I'm open to any suggestion. I certainly want to help the business community. I think they need it. I do not want to see any businesses leave our city, but I'd like to do this in a fair way.
Yes, I think if you look at that formula and apply it to restaurants, you can kind of come up with a similar number, in that if you have a 100-seat restaurant that they reduced to 50, well then, the cost of your license gets reduced that percentage. I mean, that would be kind of the thinking, and you'd apply that across the board to most of the business. Parking lots are a little different because they were never technically closed. They were never technically reduced occupancy. But, you know, when the governor says, hey, don't go to work, no one goes to park their car. So in a sense, you know, they took a hit as well. And I'm not sure, you know, how we would mitigate that.
Okay, well, I think what you're saying is fair in a way, because some businesses have, as you said, maybe 22 seats. We have other restaurants that have 100.
Yeah.
So then we would have to look at it, as you said, a percentage. But everyone is so different. I think it really is going to be, I would like to look at the figures again myself. I do have, I think Commissioner Oshina should get the listing from Maggie that I have. I get it, yeah, listing of all license holders, what their fees are. And we can look at it that way. And again, as I say, lodging licenses, they haven't lost money. Tenants have not left. So I'm looking at, I think we have about 1, 2, 3, 4. We have about 12 to 14 different type of licenses in our city. So it is kind of hard to say a percentage for everybody. Some I don't think qualify. I'm not too sure about package stores. They did stay open. I don't know.
They were essential.
They were essential. So is essential qualified, you know? So yeah, I think your method is good. I think the breakdown is good. But I would like to clarify who we're talking about. Let's list
Very
who
good.
should qualify.
All right, well, I think this is a good basis to jump off the discussion. And I think going forward for next month, hopefully we'll come back with some hard numbers and be able to come up with a plan that will work for everybody. So I guess we'll continue this at our next meeting. Is that agreed?
Yes.
Agreed.
I think
Very good.
we do have to remember that the license renewals will be going out within the next month. So we do have to get our thoughts together and work on it as soon as possible.
Yes, and I don't want this formula to end up falling, you know, all on Maggie to do all this computation. We're going to work it out so that the business will do most of the computation on this stuff. You know what I mean? So, but that would be it for right now. I don't see any other items on the agenda. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to discuss? I don't see or hear anybody, so I guess we will adjourn. I'll make a motion to adjourn till, is that October 21st?
Yes, that is October 21st.
Thank you. So I'll make a motion to adjourn until October 21st.
And
Actually, I'm sorry. Thank you, Commissioner. Actually, we're going to adjourn until September 22nd when we have our special meeting.
Okay. Okay, so you make a motion to adjourn. I'll second the motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners. Have a good
Sounds
day.
good. You too. You guys have a good day.
Okay,
Thanks, Maggie.
you are quite welcome.
Was it better this time?
It was much better. Thank you so much for slowing it down. It made it a lot easier, especially with some people, as you know,
Hi,
having
Sean.
difficulties getting in and out.
Hi, Sean.
Tall Penta has a terrible